The focus of this video is trapping aggressive opponents. I will give 3 hand examples to demonstrate the strategies for playing against these very aggressive players. Generally speaking, the basic strategy is to set a trap by checking and slow playing hands, because these aggressive players will sense weakness and will attack at every opportunity to try and steal the pot. So in this first hand I was dealt pocket 7s under the gun, which I raise. A loose aggressive player in the cutoff just calls, which he would be doing with a very wide range with position. And another loose player in the big blind also calls. The flop is 9 high with a flush draw and straight draw possibilities out there. However, considering I know the loose aggressive player will likely bet at the flop when it gets checked around to him, I still think my hand is good and that he would be betting close to 100% of his range on this flop, so I definitely feel like I've got the best hand. The turn brings another 9, which is a good card for my hand because it means there's less combos of 9s that he can actually have, although it continues to represent that he's got a big hand. I have no reason to believe I still don't have the best hand. The turn at 10 of spades means the flush draw missed. There's a potential straight out there now, but I have blockers to the nut straight, and considering I thought he was bluffing on the flop and turn, and I only have to call a bit bigger than a half pot size bet on the river, I have no reason to think I still don't have the best hand and decide to call. Now this hand was actually against the same loose aggressive opponent, and I'm going to use the same strategies of checking to fake weakness to allow him to bluff. So I open raise with ace 10 in middle position. He calls again with position, which he'd be doing with a very wide range. And the plays and the blinds get around to folding, so it was a heads up pot, and I flop a stronger hand this time, top pair, top kicker, but there are potential straight draws and flush draw possibilities. Considering again, I think he's going to bet once it gets checked around to him, and as expected he does, but considering the draws that are out there, I decide to check raise the flop with obviously the plan to get stacks in with such a strong hand, because he's likely committing his stack with any draws or any worse made hands. Obviously sometimes you can, if there's no draws out there, you can check call the flop and check raise the turn, but in this hand I decided to check raise. In this hand I have a ace suited hand in the small blind. It's a blind versus blind situation. Another loose player, although it's a limited sample, but he does have very loose stats, which he would be calling with positions with so many hands. I flop second pair, which is very likely the best hand in a heads up pot. However, it's not a huge hand, so I decide to check the turn. I c-bet as you normally would. He could be floating, he could be calling with worse hands. Obviously it is possible he does have a 10, but there's many other hands including draws that he could have. The turn doesn't change much. I decide to check call because he would be betting all of his draws and any worse made hands. The river brings a king, which is a scare card. It's a scare card he would likely be betting, so I have no reason to think I still don't have the best hand, and he'll be betting all of his misdraws or any worse made hands in that spot, so I decided to call. For more poker term definitions, check out pokerdictionary.net.